In other news today, the competition watchdog says it's found worrying evidence that people who buy leasehold properties are being treated unfairly. The Competition and Markets Authority says homeowners have been taken advantage of and prospective buyers misled by housing developers. It is an issue that the Victoria Derbyshire programme here on BBC News has covered numerous times, including the story of Gary, who spoke to our reporter Colleen Harris in July of last year.
I want to get out. I don't want anything to do with these freeholders. They've not been nice to me. They've come in and put me in a position where I have anxiety. My antidepressants have doubled in dosage because sometimes I just can't cope.
Gary Bailey bought his Victorian conversion flat in 2006. Initially, he says he was paying about £270 a year for ground rent and management fees. But when the freehold was sold to another freeholder, he received an annual service charge invoice for £1,240.
If I pay them, I'm going to be short my mortgage or short bills. So the pressure that's been put on me is absolutely horrible. The thing is, I had to save for that deposit like anyone buying a freehold property would. I pay my mortgage exactly the same as somebody that would have a freehold, but I'm treated like a rental tenant.
That was a guy there who spoke to Victoria Derbyshire programme last year. Let's now speak to Jo, Derbyshire co-founder of National Leaseholds Campaign and is a leaseholder herself. She joins me from Greater Manchester. Thank you for speaking to us here on BBC News. So first off, how did you find yourself in this position?
We bought our home in 2010 and we knew it was leasehold. We were told the ground rent was £295 and it would double every 10 years, which we thought was a bit alarming. So we asked the sales lady about buying the freehold and we were told that we could buy it at any point for about £5,000. What they didn't tell us was that their plan was to sell the freehold on to an investor, and they did that 11 months after I moved in. And in the summer of 2016, a neighbour's house sale fell through. And when she inquired about buying the freehold, we found that the price had gone from the $5,000 that we were all verbally told by the salesperson to around £30,000.
So what does that now mean personally to you?
It makes me so angry that critical information that would have influenced my decision making was withheld. Had I been told at the time that they would sell it on, that was common practice, and that the cost to buy my freehold would rocket, then I would have bought my freehold at the time I bought my house. Any sensible person would have.
And are you trying to sell at the moment or not?
I couldn't sell this house because it's got doubling ground rent. Nobody would lend on it. A mortgage provider wouldn't lend on it now.
OK, so what do you make then of what's been said today?
I'm delighted by the report because we've campaigned for the last 3 years about the abuses and systematic mis-selling across leasehold houses and flats. So it just feels like vindication today that somebody's actually listened and somebody gets it, and that they want to take really strong action to help those of us that are trapped in this situation. So I couldn't be more thrilled.
OK, so does that mean that you're now going to take action? What are you going to do after hearing about this planned enforcement?
Well, we have a number of over 16,000 people in our Facebook group on the National Leasehold Campaign. So what we can do is now we can support the CMA in terms of their enforcement action by helping to mobilise cases that they can then take to court effectively. So we can just help them and support them in terms of mobilising the enforcement action that they want to take forwards. I'd love to think that the developers would actually, at this point now, do the right thing. It's very simple to do the right thing and put us back in the same position we would have been had we not been missold in the first place. But I don't believe they'll do that.
Do you think it goes far enough? Do you think they've gone far enough? Or do you think that the government are going to have to really rethink this and change the law so you don't have to go through this legal battle?
I think going forwards, the government have made lots of progress in terms of how they plan to stop the sale of leasehold houses and zeroise ground rents, which would be fabulous going forwards. for those of us that are already stuck in this, it's a much more difficult problem because you're dealing with contract law. The developers could compensate us and sort this out. I don't think they could do the right thing. They choose not to. So they will do as little as they think they can get away with, is my experience so far. So more pressure is needed to make them do the right thing.
Yeah, Joe, just very quickly, I just wanted to know what it is like when you approach whoever is holding the freehold and, you want to discuss the situation with them. What's it like? What do they say?
Very often you can't talk to your freeholder at all because my freeholder, for example, is an offshore shell company. So you can only contact the management company who acts on their behalf. But there's no empathy there. They've bought what they believe is an investment in good faith. Effectively it's ground rents are an asset class. Our homes have become an asset class and a cash cow. So you just can't have any sensible dialogue with them.
Joe Darbyshire, thank you very much for sharing your story. Thank you.
Thank you.